The old house has always been a source of rumors in our small town. Located on the outskirts of town, the house was known as the Forbidden Room by the locals. As time passed, the family suddenly disappeared, leaving their house abandoned. The house became forgotten, and the townsfolk began to steer clear of it. However, one thing never changed. The Forbidden Room always piqued our curiosity. It was as if something was waiting inside, something mysterious. One night, my best friends, Sarah and Mike, and I decided to investigate the house. Despite the terrifying urban legends, our curiosity couldn't be contained any longer. We entered the house, and the atmosphere inside was damp and eerie. Dust and cobwebs covered every corner. Yet, our focus was on the Forbidden Room we had heard so much about. The door to the Forbidden Room looked weathered with faded pink paint. It hadn't been opened in a long time. Carefully, we opened it. The room was dark and musty. In the center of the room, a giant mirror stood, its frame glistening in the dim light. What sent shivers down our spines were the images within the mirror. We saw ourselves in the mirror, but not like our real selves. Our reflections looked terrified and were running into darkness. They were unmistakably similar to us, but with very real expressions of fear. Anxiety crept into our minds as we tried to figure out what was happening. Without warning, we heard footsteps coming from behind the mirror. The sounds grew closer, and we saw a terrifying shadow inside the mirror. The shadow moved on its own and pointed toward us. It was as if the mirror was a gateway to another dimension, a mysterious world waiting for us. Of course, our curiosity led us to step closer to the mirror. When we touched its surface, we felt a strong pull that drew us inside. We were sucked into it, and a dark and mystical world immediately enveloped us. We found ourselves in an unfamiliar place, with trees growing in strange ways and winds whispering like mysterious creatures. In the distance, we saw moving silhouettes and heard strange, unheard-of sounds filling our ears. It felt like we had entered an incomprehensible parallel world. We were confused and terrified. We tried to scream, but our voices went unheard. We attempted to return to the mirror, but the strong pull was no longer there. We felt trapped in this strange world. We roamed within this mysterious world, trying to find a way out. We encountered many unanswered mysteries, such as bizarre creatures and magical objects. Time seemed to pass slowly, and we didn't know how long we had been trapped. When we were on the verge of losing hope, the mirror suddenly appeared in front of us again. With relief, we tried to touch it once more, and this time, we successfully returned to the house we had left behind. After that experience, we never dared to approach the Forbidden Room again. We now know that there is something inside the mirror, something much more powerful than our imagination. We also learned that the world beyond the mirror is a mysterious and dangerous place. The old house remains a legend in our small town, and the Forbidden Room continues to be a locked secret. We learned from our experience that some mysteries are better left unsolved, and some doors are better left unopened.